Hello everyone and welcome to Checkpoint. Yeah! Now, how have you been? How was your day? Hope it was good. All right, so today on Checkpoint, I have some very interesting topic, a very interesting topic I'd like to share with you. Now, today, I'd like you to do something for me, but before you do something for me, let me thank you for all that you have already done for me. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing on my YouTube channel. Thank you for clicking on the notification bell. And I want to really appreciate it because of all that you do. Our message is reaching a wider audience. And for this, I am indeed very grateful. Now, before we begin, I'd like you to just go ahead and invite your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Let them know that it is time for Checkpoint. Oh, I can't wait to share with you what I have today because it's something that touches every one of us from time to time. Now, please, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, invite your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. I'll be back right after this short break and I'll be giving you the topic for today at that moment. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. All right, so today on Checkpoint, I'd like to talk about the topic, how to overcome depression. How to overcome depression. Now, before we get into it, I'd like everyone to know that depression is a medical condition. All right, so for some people, they'll be like, I feel depressed. Even though you may feel depressed, depression is beyond a feeling. All right, so it's a medical condition. Usually, it manifests itself in varied degrees of extreme unhappiness, all right, low morale, inability to visualize a beautiful future for yourself or a happy future for yourself, thoughts of suicide, thoughts of even self-inflicted injuries. These are different manifestations of depression. So one thing we have to establish is that people go through different varied degrees of depression. So for some others, it is a very light form of depression. For that, those are the people that tell you, I feel depressed, all right? But some others, it is extreme. Now, what I'm going to say here in today's video is not like a medical solution to depression. So if your depression, the depression you're experiencing is at the extreme, I want to recommend that you look for a medical doctor, a physician that can help you, a psychologist that can help you out of the depression. But what I'm saying here today is that kind of depression that people feel and experience from time to time, that's what I want to focus on. So first and foremost, like I said earlier, depression is a medical condition, but people feel it at varied degrees. So there are various degrees of depression. So somebody might have this extreme unhappiness for a period of their life, and there are several reasons why people have depression. Sometimes they have depression because it's a medical situation, okay? Some other times they have depression because of unachieved dreams, targets that were not met. Some others have depression because of they look at their lives, they are not where they want to be. So there are several tons and tons of reasons why people have depression. Some are, will I say, good kind of reasons, or will I say, no, not good, cogent reasons. All right, so there are some that are cogent reasons and there are some that are not cogent reasons for depression. The example of cogent reasons for depression, maybe you are in extreme hardship, you are struggling to eat, struggling to feed yourself or your family, you are struggling to make ends meet, you are struggling, in fact, you are being harassed and embarrassed on a steady basis. These are real and cogent reasons for you to be depressed, okay? Now, there are some that are not cogent, like you look at somebody's life, you envy the person, you want to be like the person, you're wondering, oh, why do they have it all together and then mine is not all together? So these are the things that could make some other person depressed. Some people get depression just by going on Instagram, all right? They just scroll through photos and videos, by the time they are done with that, they begin to suffer massive depression. So irrespective of how your own depression came, one thing I'd like to share with you is how you can overcome this depression, okay? So, like I said earlier, it's not a medical solution to depression, but these are coping skills I want to share with you that will help you to overcome depression. Maybe you have felt so bad for too long. Maybe you have felt so depressed for too long. Maybe you're not happy about how your life is going. Maybe you feel that time is against you. Maybe you feel you are too embarrassed or too stressed out. People are looking down on you. People are insulting you because you don't have money or finances or even things that the world people tag as happiness. Whatever the cause of your depression is, one thing is that there are coping skills that will help you to overcome that depression. So it is my utmost desire that by the end of this video, you'll be energized, you'll be strengthened, you'll be hopeful, and you'll be able to overcome depression no matter what happens. So before we go deeper into this, remember, I'd like you to invite your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Let them know that it is time for Checkpoint. Now, before I continue, I'd like to ask you a question, all right? It may be it looks like a very personal question, but I'd like to ask you, what would you consider is a major cause of depression? What would you consider is a major cause of depression? So like I said earlier, there are several tons and tons of causes. But what do you think are the major causes of depression? I'd like you to put them in the comment section. Comment about it. Put them in the comment right now. I'd like to read about them, okay? I'd like to see what your thoughts are. I'd like to see what you feel makes people more depressed, much more than any other thing. Like I said earlier, there are several things that make people very, very depressed. And we said that depression manifests itself in feelings of extreme unhappiness, low self-morale, okay? It expresses itself in your inability to visualize a happy tomorrow, a happy future. It also manifests itself in you inflicting pain on yourself or even going to the point of committing suicide. Now, one thing you have to know is that nobody gets depression today and commits suicide today. It happens over a period of time. And that is why I like every one of us to be observant, be watchful. There is somebody around you. The person might be looking all clad up, all packaged, looking all good, but at the end of the day, there is something that is causing the person to be depressed. You know, in this era, in this world we have found ourselves in, it's unfortunate that we have found ourselves in a time when people do not feel compassion for others, when people do not feel empathy, okay, for others. So sympathy is lacking, empathy is lacking. And like I've told you before in my other videos, sympathy simply means you are having feelings for somebody, all right? You are feeling for somebody's pain. You are feeling for somebody's challenge or situation or condition. But empathy is, on the other hand, is that you are having feelings with the person. So at a point of empathy, you are feeling what the person is feeling. You know how the Bible tells us that we should rejoice with those that rejoice and mourn with those that mourn? That is what empathy is all about. So you bring yourself to the point where you are able to feel what they are feeling. And I believe that that's what Jesus did at the time when he saw the people that came to listen to him preach. They were all tired. They were all stressed out. But he looked at them. The Bible said he had compassion on them. He felt what they were feeling. And he couldn't send them away. That is why he made sure that they had something to eat. Now, in this era we have found ourselves in, sympathy is lacking. Empathy is lacking. That is why you see somebody dying on the road, then another person, instead of going to give a helping hand, would rather pick up their phone and try to get the video so that they can eventually get views. So we see ourselves doing so many things for the likes, for the views, for the shares, for the highest number of comments and stuff like that. And that shouldn't be the situation. That shouldn't be how it is. Because we need to be human. All right, we need to be very, very human. It's terrible. We've seen videos of people dying on camera, and it's a human being that is covering that. It's a human being that's capturing that experience. And I don't know what the essence of having to view a human being lose their life simply because somebody has lost sympathy and somebody has lost empathy. This is an era where we have to reignite our sympathy. We have to rekindle our empathy levels so that we'll be able to become the human that God has created us to be. We are supposed to feel what others are feeling, rejoice with those that rejoice, and also mourn with those who are mourning. Now, remember, we're talking about depression. Depression happens to virtually everybody at different degrees, like I said earlier. So for some, it might just be a feeling. Now, if you have ever felt very, very bad, like your life was about to end, you must have gone through depression at a degree. So don't assume that because you have gone through the lower version of depression, that every other person who is going through depression is going through that same level of depression. No, there are people whose depression is extreme, okay, who are going through extreme depression that is a threat to their life, a threat to the people, to the happiness and the joy of people around them and people in their family, okay? So let's not generalize depression. And like I said earlier, it's important for you to know that what I'm saying is not a medical solution for depression. I'm just giving you coping skills that will help you to overcome depressions. But if it's extreme, please look for your psychologist, look for your doctor. They would attend to you. But let's talk about the symptoms of depression. What would you see in the person's life? What will you see in the life of an individual that will make you know that the person is going through depression? Or what will you see in the life of a person that will generally just tell you that this person is going through depression? Or what will you see in your own life that will make you feel, oh, this is depression and I have to really, really deal with it? Because number one, it's important for you to know that you cannot solve a problem you have not identified. So before you can solve any problem whatsoever, number one, you have to identify what that problem is. If you do not know it, how would you solve it? So you have to know it before you solve it. And how do we know depression? Number one sign of depression is that you have an irritable mood. So the mood is, have you seen somebody who is constantly in a bad mood? Okay, so there are no feelings of happiness in between. This person is bad from the first day of the month to the end of the month. All right, the person is feeling bad from the first hour of the day to the end of the day. Feelings irritable mood. So any small thing that happens, the person feels like fighting, feels like quarreling, feels like giving silent treatment and stuff like that. It is one of the symptoms. Now, I like you to know that not everybody will have all of the symptoms. So some people have some of the symptoms, but when you have up to 5 of these symptoms, you need to really watch out for depression and then do something about it, okay? Because it's not enough to know a problem until you make up your mind to solve that problem. So number 2 symptom is what we call sleep problems. So you have problems sleeping. At night when everybody's sleeping, you are awake and you're thinking and thinking and thinking. One thing you must know is that some of those thoughts you are having, they are not good. Some of those thoughts you are thinking and thinking about your life and everything, they are really not solving any problem, okay? You don't solve a problem by worry. Worry has never solved any problem. If you are listening to me to this point, I'd like you to comment in the type your comments in the comment section, all right? Let me know what your comments are. Type it in there so that I will get to read it later. So worry never solved any problem. Worry has, in the history of worry has never solved any problem. But constructive thinking and a plan, you'll be able to do something about it. Number 3 symptom of worry, of depression, I like to share with you is agitation and panic attacks. So sometimes when you are depressed, you have agitations, okay? You become too anxious for nothing. You can even run into a panic attack, and these are signs that help you know that this is depression knocking at your door. Number 4 is lack of interest. So you are not interested in anything. Nothing interests you anymore. In fact, the things that used to interest you before no longer interest you. So you used to be a football fan or a basketball fan or a music fan or whatever kind of fan you are. But those things do not interest you anymore. So you don't love them anymore. You don't like doing those things anymore simply because you are going through depression. Number 5 symptom of depression is excessive feelings of guilt. So maybe something happened, or maybe you did something, and because of that, you have allowed that experience to overwhelm you. You have allowed that experience to take a greater hold of you. So you're not able to push yourself out of it. You're not able to come out of it. You're not able to separate yourself from what has happened. You are stuck in that very moment. You are stuck in that very experience, and you are judging yourself. You are blaming yourself for something that you may or may not have control over. So that is another sign and symptom of depression, and that's something you really have to watch out for. Number 6 is self-harm. Self-harm. At the point of self-harm, you begin to inflict injuries on yourself. No, it's one thing for another person to inflict injuries on you, but it's a totally different thing for you to be the one inflicting injuries on yourself. By the time you get to that point when you're using razor and knife and sharp objects to cut yourself up, then something is wrong somewhere. You need to get yourself checked, or you check yourself in. All right. So the next one is low energy. Low energy simply talks about low enthusiasm. All right. So you have this low energy, not just in your energy levels, but in your ability to be excited, motivated, enthusiastic about life itself. So whatever happens, you're like, okay, let it be. Whatever is happening, can it start happening already? So stuff like that are things that help you know that you are actually in depression. The next one I like to talk about is lack of self-care. You know that somebody comes to a time in his or her life when you're suffering depression, you no longer take care of yourself. So you don't bother about applying a cream on your body, or bathing, or brushing your teeth, or even wearing good clothes. You just let yourself loose. You just let yourself be. And at such times, you are no longer taking care of yourself because there is no motivation for life. You don't even foresee a happy future for yourself, and then something is actually wrong somewhere. So it's something you really have to watch out for. Another symptom of depression is that you begin to have changes in appetite. Now, I'm not talking about your occasional changes in appetite that you normally go through from time to time, but when there is a massive change in appetite, so you either eat too little or you eat too much. Now, for some people, when they are manifesting depression, they eat excessively, okay? So they have no control over what they're putting in their mouth. They'll just keep eating whatever comes in. They eat like, let me just eat. And if food can kill me, let food kill me, that kind of situation. So some others, they see food, they don't want to eat food. They are starving themselves practically to death. So whichever way, whether it is extreme eating or very little or low eating, is still a problem. And the final symptom I like to share with you, this may not be exhaustive, but then it's just something to show you little indications that show you that somebody is actually having an issue with depression, is suicidal thoughts. So suicidal thoughts, those thoughts that come to somebody's mind and they are like, I want to kill myself, I want to destroy myself and stuff like that. I don't know how it happens, but mostly when people are depressed to that point, that extreme depression, they are thinking of, I need to end it, all right? I need to kill myself. I need to end life as it's were, because they do not see anything after that moment. Now, I know you may not have depression tendencies or suicidal tendencies, but please do not judge on somebody who really has those suicidal tendencies, because they are not in their right mind, okay? There's no way to talk about it and say they are not in their right mind. Depression is a mental health issue. It's a medical issue. So it's what they need is our compassion and our constructive help, because it's not just about having compassion is one thing, but you have to guide them accordingly, help them out of it. Now, if for adults, there is a limit to what you can really do, right? So you can only advise, suggest, and they will ultimately make the decision. So sometimes family members impose themselves on the person, on the individual, if they know what it is. So I know you are not going through depression, and you might be like, this video is not for me at all. But then you might have a family member who is currently going through depression. You might even have a loved one who is going through depression, and this video will be all something. Let me not just say, oh, not to brag, but it will be something that you will need in order to help that person accordingly. So please listen, and listen very, very attentively. Now I have shared with you the symptoms of depression. I'd like to conclude this session by sharing with you the coping skills that will help you to overcome depression, skills that will help you to overcome depression. Now, we have been able to establish what depression is. We have been able to establish the causes of depression. We have talked about the symptoms of depression. Now it is time for us to talk about the skills that you need to be able to overcome depression. Now, number one skill that you need is that you have to find meaning in life by being of service to others. Find meaning in life. Find meaning in life. Find meaning in this life by being of service to others. Can I tell you that no matter what you do for yourself, if you don't come to that point where you are able to do something for the benefit of others, you will not be able to find meaning. So beyond enjoying yourself, beyond relaxing and be taken care of, you have to bring yourself to the point where you are able to serve others. When you are of service to the others, when you see yourself being useful to the life of another person, you see what you are doing impacting another person, it gives life a very strong meaning. So that way you are able to destroy that inability to see a happy future. You begin to see a happy future because you believe that what the meaning I'm giving to this person's life will make this person a better person. So find meaning. You can go apply for some courses that help, all right? So stand for a cause, believe in a vision that is bigger than yourself, join a team that is making the world a better place, join a group that is helping people who are in need, do something, all right? Stand for a cause, believe in something, work towards it, because if you must be happy, you should be able to find meaning. Find meaning in something that is bigger than yourself. Find meaning in something that will help another individual's life. Don't just live for yourself on a regular basis. All right? Go ahead and do something different for somebody else. Number two, you need to find out workable goals that will give you a sense of accomplishment. It could be anything. It could be a weight loss achievement plan. It could be a writing achievement plan. It could be a singing achievement plan. It could be an house arranging achievement plan, whatever it is, no matter how small they are, just find something, workable goals that will help you to say, okay, yeah, last week I achieved this week I'm gonna do this, next week I'm going to do that. It could even be learning how to play a game, all right? They say, oh, I was able to learn how to play this game. It could be learning an instrument, whatsoever it is that you know that this is something you can achieve. Now, what makes it workable? Workable, number one, is that it has to be something that you can control, all right? Don't look for a goal that is in another person's hand. If not, feelings of frustration and anger might come in and then worsen your depression. So make sure that it's something that depends on you solely. Now, number B, make sure that the goals are manageable. They are manageable. They are not overwhelming. They're not stressing you out, because you are already having depression. You don't want to look for another goal that you engage in that will now begin to stress the life out of you, because you need all the rest that you can get. Now, C is that you have to look for what is realistic. And most importantly, what is realistic for you. So it may be very realistic to others, but if it is not realistic to you, please just ignore it. Don't bother investing your time and energy in it. Make sure that it is realistic for you. So while others might be saying this is what is realistic, you don't mind them. Just look for what is realistic for you. And then the D part, make sure it is measurable, because how will you then know that you have been able to achieve those goals if you were not able to say, this was when it started, this is where it is going, this is where I would be able to achieve it. So you need to make sure that it is measurable. Make sure that it is measurable. It's something you can calculate. You can check, this is beginning, this end point. It starts from here, it ends here. This is how much I have done this, all right? So make sure that those goals are very measurable. This will help keep you busy, keep your mind busy, because there is this emptiness that comes when you have nothing really doing with yourself. So number three skill that will help you to overcome depression is that you have to do what you love. This is very, very key. Do what you love. There are many things I do that I do not love, but there are other things I do that I truly love. Now, a day comes in my life when I am tired, when I'm exhausted, when I am stressed out. Do you know what I do? I go back to doing those things that I truly love to do. And now those things I truly love to do, they energize me, they strengthen me so that I'll have more energy, more enthusiasm to do the things that I have to do. So in my life, there are things I have to do and there are things that I love to do. Now, the things I love to do help me cope with the things that I have to do. Now, in your life, I like you to sit down and make a list. Just bring a sheet of paper, divide it into two, and put on the left side things you have to do. And then on the right side, put the things that you love to do. You will discover that life is easier to live if you are able to discover the things that you love to do and create a healthy balance between the things that you love to do and the things that you have to do. This is what helps you to cope. Now, many of us are stressed out emotionally because we are not able to create that balance. So make a list. Make a list right now. You can get a paper as you're watching this video, because sometimes after the video you forget. So get a paper. I'm waiting for you. Get a paper. Now, with your pen, draw a line in between. On the left, write things you have to do. Oh, most times that list can be very, very long. So, but just go ahead and write them. Things you have to do. Then on the right side, write things you love to do. Now, it is wisdom for you to be able to create a balance between those things you have to do and the things you truly love to do, because it will greatly help you to cope. It will help you to be a happy person. It will help you to be contented, all right? Because when you are doing things you have to do, you have to be balancing it out with the things that you love to do. I hope that really, really helped you. All right, so don't wait till you're in the mood to do the things that you love to do. Sometimes put yourself in the mood and go do the things that you love to do. Sometimes I'm not in the mood, but what do? I start doing the things I love to do, and I discover that it alters my mood. It makes my mood better than it used to be. So there are a list of my favorite things, according to Maria in Sound of Music. I don't know how many of you watched that video many years ago. All right, it's still available. Sound of Music, the Von Trapp family singers, and then the major character Maria. Now, she sang the song and said, these are a few of my favorite things, some of that. So she made a list of the things that are favorite things. So you go ahead and make a list of your favorite things, because those things help you to cope with the things that you actually have to do in your life. Now, number 4 skill that will help you to overcome depression is what I call having a healthy support system, having a very strong and healthy support system. We all need support system. Even your support system needs support systems. So don't at any moment assume that those who are your support system, they don't need people in their lives equally. So your support system needs a healthy and a strong support system. Every one of us needs support systems. I can't count how many times I have depended on my support system to keep doing what I'm doing. So there are many times, even as leaders, you get tired, you get exhausted, you lose enthusiasm. It is your support system, your strong support system, people who will never judge you, people who will never ridicule you, people who will never leave you no matter how bad things get, people who will never forsake you, no matter how much the whole world has given up on you. These are your support system. So make sure that there are those 2, 3, 4 people, 5 people in your life who are always there for you, who stand strong for you. So the fact that they are support system does not mean that they cannot tell you the truth, okay? So they can tell you the truth without judging you. They can tell you the truth without ridiculing you. They can tell you the truth without humiliating you. Your healthy support system will be there to stand by you. So when they tell you the truth, they're not saying it to bring you down. They are saying it to lift you up. Those are your healthy support system. So make sure you have people like that in your life. For some, it could be their parents. For some, it could be their siblings. For some, it could be people who are strangers, but they are closer than even siblings. All right, they are closer than friends. They are closer than parents. So make sure that you have those set of people who believe in you, even when they don't look like anything. who root for you, even when there is no evidence that you're going to rise or be successful in life. Those are your healthy support system. People who have excelled in life and who keep succeeding at what they are doing, they all had a very healthy support system, a very strong support system. People who will not look down on them, who will not judge them, who will not ridicule them or humiliate them, who say the truth in love, because that's everything. There are people who, they can tell you the truth, but they are not saying the truth in love. So they tell you the truth, but without love. And because of that, that truth does not set you free. That truth humiliates you. That truth makes you feel terrible. So have those set of people in your life who look at your nothing and see everything. Who look at your nothing and see something. Those are the people that you should also put around your life. Make sure that they are there. And make sure that those people also have their own healthy support system. The fact that I am your support system does not necessarily mean that you have to be my support system. So I can be your support system, then another person can be my support system. So that's how it works. It's very, very key, very, very important, because if you, the journey to overcoming depression is not an easy one. It's not a child's play. It's something that should be taken very serious. And if you have to overcome it, you need a very strong and healthy support system. Okay, let's talk about number 5. Number 5 skill that can help you to overcome depression. Number 5 skill is you need to have regular sleep schedule, exercise, and eat healthy. You need to have a regular sleep schedule, exercise, and eat healthy. Many of us do not have very healthy sleep patterns and sleep schedule, but you have to intentionally have a time that you can say, this is when I sleep, and this is when I wake up. Keep to that schedule so that your body, your system adjusts to it. I understand that from time to time, we might have things that will make us stay awake, but it's something you have to work out. It helps to balance up your emotions. It helps to balance out how you feel every day. Now, exercise. Exercise because it's healthy for you. That blood circulation, that blood flow gives you a better mood, gives you better reasoning and a decision-making ability. Now, also eat healthy. A lot of junks are not helping our life. A lot of junks might end up taking up space that they should not take up in our bodies. So please, what do you now do? Make sure that you have a regular sleep pattern. Make sure that you exercise frequently, and make sure that you reduce or remove your intake of junk. This will greatly, greatly, greatly help your life. Okay? So let's talk about number 6. Number 6 skill that you need in order to overcome depression is that you have to identify and cut off the triggers. Identify and cut off the triggers. What are triggers? Triggers are basically things that elicit depression in your life. Triggers are basically things that make you feel depressed. Things that bring up depression in your life. So, triggers could be something or someone. Let me say it again. Triggers could be something. Triggers could be someone. When triggers are something or someone, you have to, number 1, identify and cut it off. So listen to me. Loving everyone is a decision that you have to make. But you see, making everyone your friend is optional. So while loving everyone is a commandment, making everyone your friend is optional. So you need to decide the people who you allow into your space. People you allow into your space can end up keeping you depressed. And at the end of the day, if you even die from the depression, they will be the first to go talk about how you died from depression. So make sure that it is not something and it is not someone. There are tons and tons of people who have died on this earth, who have even killed themselves simply because of what another person is doing to them. So if you're old enough and you can take responsibility for your life, make sure that you stay far away from those that trigger your depression, those who keep you sad always, those who have gratification when you are having a low moment, when you're having a low morale, when you're having extreme unhappiness. Avoid them at all costs. Make sure that nobody is triggering negative emotions in your life. Give them space. Give them space. Stay far away from them, okay? Because you don't need them to thrive. You don't need them to become a better person. Now, if there are other things that are triggering that depression and negative emotions in your life, please avoid those things. Stay away from those places. Cut off from those things. But the first thing is that you have to identify. Identify what are your triggers. What is it that happens and then you begin to feel depression? What is it that happens and you begin to feel depressed? Look for that thing. Find out what it is and cut yourself off from it. So that you can live to fight another day. So that you can live to survive another day. Don't allow that trigger to keep triggering depression in you, because one day it will take away your life. If it's something, avoid it. We've had cases upon cases of people who triggered others to the point that they died. Somebody should not be the reason why you are dead. Somebody should not be the reason why you die prematurely. That shouldn't be the situation. So avoid any form of trigger. Avoid anything that will keep you sad perpetually, and that will keep you worried perpetually, and that will keep you crying on a consistent basis. Avoid it at all costs. Pay any price to avoid it, because it is not good for your mental health. It's not good for your life. It's not good for your destiny. Okay? This is very, 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 very important. And I'd like you to just abide by it because it will help you. Now we've been able to share some skills on how to overcome depression. We said number 1, find meaning in life by helping and serving, being of service to others. Number 2, we said find workable goals that help to give you a sense of achievement. Number 3, we said do what you love to do. Number 4, we said have a healthy and strong support system. Number 5, we talked about that you should have a regular sleep schedule, exercise, and eat healthy. Number 6, we said identify and cut off any trigger that triggers depression in your life. And finally, the one I'd like to share with you is that you have to ask the Lord for help. Open your mouth and ask the Lord for help. Many people find it so difficult to do. You want to carry the whole weight all by yourself. You want to bear all the pressure by yourself. Listen to me. We were not created to carry all this pressure all by ourselves. That is why the Holy Spirit was given to us. And the Bible aptly describes the Holy Spirit as our comforter. He's our comforter because we need comfort here on earth. Life can be difficult. Our destiny can be difficult. The assignment that God has given to us to achieve here on earth can be very difficult. And that is why we need the help of the Holy Spirit, because on our own, we cannot do it. All by ourselves, we cannot handle it. We need the help of the Holy Spirit to be able to navigate the terrains of the assignment in our life, to navigate the terrain of the path that God has given to us to tow here on earth. That is why I want you to make sure that you ask God for help. I hope that what I've shared today will be a huge blessing to your life. Now, invite your friends, your relations, your associates, and your neighbors. Let them know that this message will be of immense help to them. Do well to share this link to everyone that you know and let them know that this is what we feed on at Checkpoint. Thank you so much for watching today's program. Thank you for being with me on today's program. I'm sure you were very, very enlightened. And let's do this again next week on Checkpoint. I can't wait to see you there. Until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. I love you so much. Thank you. Mwah. Everyone, I hope you are blessed by that message. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and support us. If you are led, go ahead and just sow into the account right on the screen. And I know that as you do that, God will bless you big time. Because of the seeds you are sowing, we'll be able to reach a wider audience on different platforms. So please do well to sow that seed and God will bless you. Love you.